All right, so are you ready to dive into Wife, Mother, Liar? This psychological thriller by Sue Watson. We're not messing around with summaries or reviews or anything like that. We're going straight to the source material.
Oh, and that's what makes these deep dives so fun.
Yeah.
With psychological thrillers especially, these little snippets can be so deceiving.
I know.
And that's what we're going to be exploring today.
Yeah, it's like the author gives you this taste to see if you like it.
Exactly.
And with this one, Wife, Mother, Liar.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, like one of those really beautiful spreads of appetizers where each one is even more tempting than the last.
Yes.
And you just know there's something maybe delicious, but maybe a little dangerous lurking underneath.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I find so fascinating about this particular thriller, Wife, Mother, Liar by Sue Watson, is the way that she uses the dual narrator setup.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
So we're hearing from both Jill and Wendy, who were once like best friends.
Okay.
But now there's some serious tension. We'll just say that.
So like right off the bat, tension.
Oh, yeah.
I'm intrigued. I want to know more.
Well, Jill is convinced that Wendy, or maybe even Wendy's daughter Olivia, had something to do with her son, Leo's death 2 years ago.
Okay.
And even in these brief glimpses that we get in these excerpts, we see Jill really grappling with some paranoia, her fear of losing loved ones, and this just obsession with uncovering the truth.
Wow.
You almost get the sense that she's teetering on the edge of a breakdown, and as a reader, you're not quite sure if she's a reliable narrator or if it's her grief that's warping her perception.
Oh, so it's like a deep dive into her psychology as well.
Absolutely, and that's what makes these thrillers so gripping.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about who did it, but it's about understanding the minds of these characters.
I'm already hooked.
Good.
Okay.
And the way that Watson slowly reveals their backstories, their anxieties, and these little inconsistencies in their narratives.
Ooh.
Like, it just makes you question everything.
It's all about the details, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like even just a casual remark.
Could be a clue.
Oh, could be a clue.
Could be a clue. And you mentioned Wendy's daughter, Olivia, so she's a pretty significant character in all this.
It sounds like she's right in the thick of it.
She is. And here's where it gets even more complicated.
Well, I love complicated.
Jill is Olivia's godmother.
What?
So imagine that tangled web of relationships.
It's getting messy.
It's very messy, the shared history, and now this cloud of suspicion hanging over everything.
See, this is what I love about thrillers.
Me too.
You get these families, they're close-knit, seemingly idyllic setting.
It's suburban life.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Everything's fine.
And then, bam, secrets start unraveling.
Oh, yeah.
Trust is shattered,
Yeah.
and you're left wondering, like, who can you believe?
It's a classic setup,
It is.
but Watson executes it brilliantly.
Okay.
She doesn't just throw twists at you for the sake of it.
Right.
She really meticulously crafts this atmosphere of unease,
Ooh.
of simmering tension that just builds with each page.
Okay, so you're really drawing me in here.
I'm trying, and you are so right. The idyllic setting almost makes it more unsettling.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like darkness lurking beneath the surface of, I don't know, like a perfectly manicured lawn.
Yeah, like a beautiful facade. You don't know what's underneath it all.
Exactly.
Okay, you've got me hooked on the women.
Okay.
But what about the men? What are they up to in this story?
Oh, the men are definitely not innocent bystanders in this one.
Oh, good. I like that.
They add another layer of complexity to this whole plot.
Okay.
So you've got Tim, Jill's husband,
Right.
who seems to have a bit of a wandering eye. Let's just say that.
Oh, boy. This is going to be good.
And then there's Robert, Wendy's husband,
Okay.
who was much more reserved, but maybe hiding something as well.
So everyone's got secrets.
Everyone has secrets.
Oh, my gosh. This is my kind of book.
And speaking of secrets, there's this really strange detail in the excerpts about a photo of Tim
Wait, tell me more.
that Jill finds in the shed.
In a shed.
In a shed that belongs to this creepy older man named Mr. Venables.
Oh, no. This is giving me chills.
I know, right?
So what's the connection? Why is Tim's photo in this creepy old man's shed?
That is the question, isn't it? It's one of those details that just sends chills down your spine.
Yeah.
Why is Tim's photo there? What is the connection?
What does it mean?
Exactly. Sue Watson, she's a master at dropping these little breadcrumbs.
I like that.
Little clues that lead you deeper and deeper into this mystery.
Like a little trail.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm already hooked.
Good.
We've got secrets. We've got complicated relationships.
We do.
We've got this creepy old man with a shed full of photos. What else is there?
Oh, there's plenty more.
Oh, good.
But I do want to touch upon one other thing that really stood out to me in these excerpts.
Okay.
And that's this recurring motif of stars and light.
Oh, interesting.
Jill's son, Leo, remember, he was fascinated by astronomy.
Right.
And this book takes place in a dark sky reserve, which is a place where the stars are just incredibly vivid.
Oh, wow. So they're very prominent.
Very prominent.
Okay.
So now think about that imagery.
Right.
The vastness of the night sky.
Yeah.
The contrast between light and darkness. What could that possibly symbolize in the context of this story?
Ooh, you're making me think.
I'm trying to.
Well, I'm thinking hidden truths.
Ooh.
Like the truth is out there, just like the stars, but it's shrouded in darkness, difficult to find.
You're on the right track.
Okay, I'm liking this.
These motifs add a whole other layer of meaning to this story.
Right.
They really make you question whether anyone can truly see clearly in this story, and they also create this really eerie atmosphere, as if the setting itself is somehow connected to the secrets and the lies that are unfolding.
Wow, okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So now I'm picturing this web of relationships,
Hmm.
secrets, suspicion, and all under this vast starry night.
Yes.
I have to know what happens next. But before we get into that, is there anything else from these excerpts that really stood out to you?
What really struck me is how Watson uses seemingly insignificant details to create suspense.
Give me an example.
Like a fleeting glance,
Oh,
a casual remark, a misplaced object.
right.
They all become potential clues,
Yeah.
and you start questioning everything.
Oh, I love that. So you don't know who to trust.
Exactly, and you don't even know if you can trust yourself.
Well, that's a great note to end on,
Is it?
because I have so many more questions now.
I'm sure you do.
And the ending of these excerpts, oh my gosh, it's a major cliffhanger.
It is.
It leaves us wondering if Jill's going to recover from her injuries, what's going to happen to Olivia, and will the truth about Leo's death ever come out?
Those are the questions that keep you turning the pages.
I know.
And that's the brilliance of a good psychological thriller.
Yeah.
It leaves you wanting more.
I'm definitely wanting more, so let's get into it.
Let's do it. Oh, that cliffhanger, though, it's brutal.
I know.
But that's also what makes Sue Watson such a great writer. She knows how to hook you.
Oh, she's got me.
She knows how to reel you in.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hooked. I want to know the answers.
Exactly. And speaking of answers, we were talking earlier about how there are these hints about Leo's parentage
Yeah.
and how there's a bit of a mystery surrounding that whole thing.
Right, right.
Well, this is where the story takes a truly shocking turn.
Okay, I'm ready.
It turns out that Tim, Jill's husband,
Yeah.
isn't actually Leo's biological father.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that changes everything.
It does.
I mean, we already knew that Jill was like super insecure in her marriage.
Right.
She suspected Tim of having affairs, but to find out that her son, who's like the center of her world, isn't even his, that's brutal.
It's a whole new level of betrayal.
It is.
And think about the impact this has on Jill.
Yeah.
She's struggling with this immense grief over losing Leo.
Right.
And now, on top of that, she has to grapple with this bombshell from her past.
So it makes you think all of her suspicion towards Wendy, her obsession with uncovering the truth about Leo's death,
Yep.
is it because she's carrying this secret about Leo's parentage?
It's possible.
Yeah. Like, is she projecting her own guilt and fear onto other people?
It really makes you question her reliability even further.
Okay, so we don't know if we can trust her.
We don't know if we can trust her. We don't know who Leo's biological father is.
So who are the contenders?
Well, the excerpts don't give us like a definitive answer,
Right.
but there are some pretty strong hints that point towards Robert, Wendy's husband.
Oh, interesting.
So the timing of Leo's conception kind of lines up with this period when Jill and Robert were growing closer.
Okay.
They were each feeling neglected in their own marriages, and they kind of found solace in each other.
Okay, so it's like a classic love triangle.
Yeah, forbidden attraction, secret rendezvous.
And a child born from this hidden affair.
It's juicy, right?
Oh, I love it.
And imagine the weight of that secret for Jill especially.
Yeah.
She's dealing with anxiety, she's dealing with insecurity,
Yeah.
she's pregnant with another man's child. While still married to Tim, it's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, I know. I'm already feeling bad for her.
You should. And so it makes her intense need to protect Leo, her paranoia about losing him, even pushing Wendy away after Leo was born. It makes it all the more understandable.
She's trying to protect both of them.
She's built this wall around herself and Leo
Right.
to protect them both from the truth.
And from judgment.
Exactly.
And it seems like that wall's starting to crumble now.
It is.
As the events of this story unfold.
As the truth comes out.
We see these little glimpses of her past, her regrets, her fear of judgment.
It adds a whole new dimension to her character.
It does. It makes her feel more human.
It does.
And her actions, however questionable, they make more sense.
They do.
Okay, so this big reveal about Leo's parentage, it answers some questions, but it also creates more.
Of course it does. That's the fun of it.
I know. So does Tim ever find out? How does this affect his relationship with Jill?
We don't know. We don't know.
What about Robert? How does he fit into all of this, now that we know that he's the father?
Right. And how might this knowledge have influenced their actions in the present?
I need more.
You're going to have to keep reading.
I know.
Because remember, we're still trying to piece together the truth about Leo's death.
That's right.
Was it an accident, or did someone have a hand in it?
Okay, before we get to that, can we please circle back to Mr. Venables?
Let's do it.
This guy is still lurking in the background, and I can't shake this feeling that he's somehow connected to all of this.
He is definitely the most unsettling character in this book.
Oh, yeah.
There's just this air of mystery and danger that surrounds him.
Like red flag.
Red flags everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, his obsession with stars, his strange behavior, the fact that he locks Jill in his shed.
It's creepy. It's creepy.
It's very creepy. And then on top of that, we have this bombshell about Tim's photo.
Right. Why is it in there?
Exactly.
What is the connection?
It can't be a coincidence.
It can't be.
It suggests that there's a past there.
Yeah.
That we haven't been privy to yet.
Right.
Maybe they knew each other from childhood.
Right.
Maybe their paths crossed in some other way.
Right.
Whatever the link is, it just casts a shadow of suspicion over both Tim and Mr. Venables.
It's like this intricate web.
It is.
And just when you think you're starting to see the pattern,
Yeah.
she throws another twist in there, like another thread, and it gets more complex.
She does. And she does it in such a natural way, too.
It just flows.
It flows. It's not like she's forcing these twists upon us.
Right.
They emerge very naturally from the characters and their motivations.
It's believable, you know.
It is. That's what makes it so compelling.
Okay, so we've got this complex web of relationships, secrets, and suspicions. And now what? What happens?
Well, the excerpts end with Jill basically deciding she needs to confront Wendy.
No, I was waiting for this.
She is convinced that Wendy knows more than she's letting on.
She has to know something.
She has to know something. And Jill's willing to risk their already fragile friendship.
Which isn't saying a lot at this point.
Right, to get to the truth.
I can only imagine how that confrontation is going to play out.
I think it's safe to say it's going to be explosive.
Yeah, with all these hidden truths and simmering resentments.
All bubbling to the surface.
Oh, and we still don't know if Jill will recover from her injuries.
We don't know.
What will happen to Olivia? And will the truth about Leo's death ever come to light?
And that is why you have to read the book.
I know. Oh my gosh, this is one of those books where I just want to stay up all night and just finish it.
I know, they're so gripping, they just suck you in.
They do.
But before we dive into all of that, before we get into the resolution and uncover all the answers, I want to take a moment to talk about how Sue Watson uses the setting to enhance the suspense.
Oh yes, the setting is so important.
It is.
I was noticing that too, like she does such a good job with it.
It's like another character in the story.
Right, like it has its own personality.
It really does. It creates this palpable atmosphere of unease and foreboding.
Yeah, like the Dark Sky Reserve in Wales.
The isolation of the cottage.
The vastness of the night sky. It all just plays into this feeling that something is just not right.
Something's amiss.
Yeah, secrets lurking in the shadows.
It's like the landscape itself is mirroring the internal turmoil of these characters.
Ooh, that's good.
Right.
I like that.
The darkness, the secrets they're carrying within.
Yeah.
And then that vastness of the night sky just emphasizes this feeling that something's hidden.
Right.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, but it's hard to find.
But it's difficult to grasp.
It really is.
And I love how she blends those symbolic elements with the really realistic details of the setting.
Oh yeah, it's a nice balance.
It's what makes the story so immersive and haunting.
So you feel like you're right there with them.
You do. You feel like you're experiencing their fear, their doubt, and this desperate search for truth.
You know, I'm also fascinated by the complexity of Jill and Wendy's friendship.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
It is.
They were so close.
Yeah, practically family.
Good sisters.
And now there's this wall of suspicion and resentment between them.
It's a classic exploration of how quickly friendship can unravel.
Yeah.
How easily trust can be shattered.
Like a broken mirror, you can't really put it back together.
Exactly. And then you add in the fact that Jill is Olivia's godmother.
Oh, it adds another layer.
Another layer of betrayal, heartache.
Yeah.
It's like this constant reminder of this bond that they once shared.
Right, and now it's gone.
It's gone, and it just makes their interactions so tense.
Oh, so tense.
It's heartbreaking.
You can feel the weight of all those years.
You can feel the history, yeah.
Yeah.
The unspoken accusations, the pain of what's been lost.
It's like their whole history is flashing before their eyes.
And you know what? It makes you wonder if their friendship can ever be salvaged.
Oh, is there any hope for them?
Is there any hope for reconciliation? Or are they destined to remain enemies?
I don't know, but I need to find out.
You and me both, and that is why we're going to have to dive into the last part of this deep dive to uncover all those answers.
Okay, but I need a minute to process all of this.
I hear you. It's a lot to take in, so let's take a quick break.
All right.
When we return, we're going to explore that climax, the shocking truth about Leo's death, and the fallout for everyone involved.
This is going to be good, so stay tuned. All right, so we're back, and I am still trying to wrap my head around all the twists and turns in wife, mother, liar.
Oh, I know, it's a lot.
We left off with Jill just like ready to confront Wendy.
Determined.
Yeah, determined to confront Wendy. And you mentioned that it happens on this hilltop under this like breathtaking starry sky.
Right, right.
But something tells me that those stars are not shining on a happy ending.
You would be correct.
Okay, so what happens? Spill the tea.
Well, Jill tries to push Wendy off the cliff.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, no, I did not see that coming.
It's a shocker.
I mean, we knew she was on edge. We knew she thought that Wendy was hiding something about Leo's death, but attempted murder.
It's a whole other level.
It is.
But you know what's so masterful about Sue Watson's writing is that even this, like, shocking act makes sense within the context of Jill's character.
Okay, so it's not just gratuitous violence for the sake of thrills.
No, not at all. It really is like a combination of her grief, her paranoia, her desperation for answers.
Yeah.
She is convinced that Wendy knows the truth about Leo's death and that she's protecting her daughter, Olivia.
Right.
So in Jill's mind, like, eliminating Wendy becomes the only way to get justice for Leo.
So she's not thinking clearly.
No, not at all. And it's, you know, it's kind of a terrifying example of how grief and trauma can warp someone's perception.
Yeah.
Like, she's lost all sense of reason, and she's driven purely by this need for revenge.
It's sad.
It is sad, and I think the setting really adds to that whole feeling, too, you know?
Right.
This hilltop overlooking that dark sky reserve.
A place Leo loved.
A place Leo loved. It's almost like she's trying to reclaim something that was stolen from her.
Ooh, like a connection to him.
Yes, exactly. Like, she's seeking a twisted form of connection with her son.
In this act of vengeance.
Exactly.
It's all so tragic.
It is.
But of course, you know, things don't always go according to plan.
Never.
Never. What happens next?
So Wendy fights back, and in the struggle, Jill ends up falling and getting injured.
Oh, no.
And ends up in the hospital.
Okay.
So the hunter becomes the hunted.
Oh, wow. Talk about a reversal of fortune.
I know, right?
So Jill's plan backfires, but what about Wendy? Does she, like, escape unscathed?
Physically, yes.
Okay.
But emotionally, that's where things get really interesting.
Oh, here you go.
So while Jill is in a coma, Wendy decides to visit her
Okay.
and basically confess everything.
Okay, this I have to hear. What does she reveal?
Well, it turns out that Olivia did play a role in Leo's death.
Oh, wow.
But it was an accident.
Okay.
It was a tragic consequence of teenage emotions and poor decisions.
Oh, teenagers.
I know.
They make mistakes.
And Wendy, desperate to protect her daughter, covered it up, moved Olivia to Spain,
Wow.
lied to the police, and even manipulated Jill into suspecting other people.
So she really went to great lengths to protect her daughter.
She did. It was a mother's love gone wrong.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I get wanting to protect your kid, but to go that far, to deceive everyone, including your former best friend, that's a lot.
It is. And the really cruel part is that Jill,
Yeah.
even though she's in a coma, hears everything.
Oh, no.
So she's trapped inside her own body,
Yeah.
fully aware of Wendy's betrayal.
But can't do anything.
But can't speak, can't react, nothing.
That's heartbreaking. She finally gets the truth that she was looking for, but at what cost?
I know.
Like, it's like she's being punished for her own, like, relentless pursuit of the truth.
It really makes you question the nature of truth and justice, you know?
It does.
Is it better to know and not be able to do anything about it?
Right.
Or is it better to live in blissful ignorance?
That's a tough one.
It is. It's a question that really lingers with you long after you finish the book.
Yeah, for sure. But wait, there's more, right?
There is.
You mentioned earlier that there's another layer to this parentage mystery.
Yes. So we learn that Robert, Wendy's husband, is actually Leo's biological father.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's not just a love triangle, it's like a full-blown tangled web of family secrets.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. No wonder Robert was so weird about Olivia dating Leo.
Right. It explains so much about his behavior.
It does.
And it just adds another layer of tragedy to this story.
Oh my goodness, so much tragedy, but wait, it gets even more intense.
It does, because we also learn that Robert was the one who accidentally caused Leo's death.
No way. So it wasn't murder after all.
It was an accident.
Wow. Okay, so just this tragic accident that has had this, like, ripple effect.
A ripple effect of devastation.
Oh my goodness. So what happens with Robert? What does he do?
Well, he is consumed by guilt and fear of exposure.
Of course.
So he actually tries to kill Jill.
What?
By tampering with her fee in the hospital.
No. This is insane.
He is desperate to protect his family, his reputation.
Right.
But he ends up just digging himself deeper and deeper into a moral abyss.
It's like everyone in this story is just making these choices that they think are right.
Right.
Like they're trying to protect themselves or their loved ones.
Right.
But they just end up causing more pain and destruction.
It's true, and I think it really highlights the complexities of human nature.
Yeah, like those gray areas of morality.
Exactly.
And how even the smallest choices can just have these huge, devastating consequences.
It's crazy how one little thing can snowball like that.
Well, this has been one heck of a deep dive.
It has.
Wife, mother, liar is this whirlwind of suspense.
Oh, yeah.
Shocking revelations and these really emotionally charged moments.
I know, and Sue Watson's writing, it's just masterful.
It is. She keeps you guessing until the very end. And even then, I'm still thinking about these characters and what they did and why they did it.
I know, it definitely stays with you.
It does. It's a book that makes you question everything you thought you knew about trust and betrayal and just how far people will go to protect the ones they love.
And if you are looking for a psychological thriller that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, make you question your assumptions, and leave you with a serious book hangover,
This is it. This is the one.
go pick up Wife, Mother, Liar.
Yes, settle in for a wild ride and let us know what you think.
We want to hear your theories.
Yes, your reactions.
To this twisty-turny tale.
Until next time, happy reading.